Chapter 17, Emissary of Church, 3. The walls of the cave were wet and full of what would seem like algae to common people. But it was not, it was green moss. An extremely useful component worth 1 gold a gram, and looking at the size of the cave, he could harvest a kilogram easy. But that was not the point right now. The point was that green moss was the best absorbent of light, hence it would reduce the effects of darkness dispel spell tome by at least 30%. Dang it. He cursed, stupid plants. The stupid guy who did this quest in his past life did not mention such an important detail. Noob. A complete noob. Rudra took a deep breath to calm himself and peeped across the passageway. 2 night werewolves were sleeping in front of the door. Rudra contemplated for a while. He did buy silver arrows that could hurt the werewolves as well as the silver sword, but being too far away he could not probe their levels, hence if he did damage them using the arrows he could get their aggro, then he could use the darkness dispel spell to weaken them by 70% and use the sword to finish them. His strategy was decided. He played the scenario in his mind and checked and rechecked for any errors, then drawing 2 arrows on his bow together, he shot it towards their sleeping heads. -1800 critical hit. -1800 critical hit. The HP bar of the wolves was halved. Startled awake, they frantically started running towards the end of the passageway from where Rudra shot his arrows. Rudra tore a darkness dispel spell and a blinding light erupted, along with a blast of holy power. The werewolves died. Well, this was unexpected. He expected the arrows to do 30% damage while the spell to do 40% and he needing to finish them off quickly, but the arrow was a critical hit and the spell finished them off. Still, the damage did not add up in his mind. How? He wondered. Then he remembered something. It was true that silver and light spells were the only ones capable of subduing such creatures, however there was more to it. These attacks were super effective, dealing much more damage to creatures of such build than their intended damage. Ha 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 ha. Rudra's rotten mood took a complete 180. He was happy now. Well, I will become the emissary of the church. 1-2. Plus 1000. Plus 2. Plus 1. Ha 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 ha, great rewards. Is this the power of a god? He asked himself, cueing dramatic music in his mind as he opened the door. Rudra walked in feeling invincible, like cutting down each and every filthy creature in his path, however setting the first foot into the room. Bam. -300. He was hit with a powerful darkness blast, jolting him back to reality. Shit. Thought Rudra. 20 dark werewolves growled at him. The one hitting him with the blast being an alpha at level 18 and the rest being level 15. If it was not for his gold-grade darkness armor he would have been toast. Summon Knight Durahal. He summoned Durahal for the first time out of Lich's ring. Well, he did summon him once, and him being a level 30 undead was extremely useful. Slay them all, commanded Rudra as he tore darkness dispel spells and threw them in the middle of the room randomly. Bursts of light and holy power quickly took out a chunk of the enemy health. -1500. -1500. -1700 critical hit. -1500. A string of damage appeared. Rudra was satisfied. With this and Durahal he should be able to slay them like cutting butter. That would have been, however. Durahal's sword was not silver. Fucking idiot, Durahal did no damage at all. -150. -150. A string of damage appeared on Rudra's knight. TF. Fraud knight. I have a fraud as a knight. Darkness bind. He bound the alpha and 2 of his surrounding werewolves and slashed through their necks quickly. -2000. -2000. -1700. The supporting wolves died, however the alpha survived with 200 HP left. There were 7 injured wolves versus Rudra and useless Durahal. Rudra only had 3 darkness dispel left with him and he absolutely did not wish to waste one. Well, Durahal can be my meat shield and I can kill some wolves, he thought. Shield me, Rudra commanded as he charged into the wolves. With Durahal blocking and taking brunt of the damage, Rudra managed to kill 4 wolves before Durahal was sent packing back into the ring. Rudra was left alone against the alpha and 2 wolves. It was insane to battle 3 of them at once when he was such low-leveled compared to them. He could not evade their moves. Best he could do was trade damage, doing just that. He took 400 damage, dealing 1200 in return, subduing one wolf. Player name, Shakuni. Title, Viscount of Hazelgrove Kingdom, reputable knight, savior of Thal village, revered medicine master. Class, knight. Subclass, none. LVL, 13. Tier, 0. Stats. AGI, 21 Vit, 16. Int, 16 STA, 16. PHY, 16 HP, 50/600. Status, heavily wounded. Equipment, common stone sword, leather boots, darkness armor, lich's ring, bronze shins, Viking helmet. The fight seemed like it was not going his way, but, is it so? Rudra smirked. He used his ultimate skill from lich's ring. Darkness absorb. Plus 550 HP. He was back to full health. This was his source of confidence in not using the darkness dispel spell tomes, as he could reabsorb health as long as there were corpses around him. The wolves snarled. They hated this man who used their fallen brethren's corpses to heal himself. They charged at Rudra, but being so low on HP were killed after a short bout. As soon as the alpha was killed, Rudra sat down on the floor totally fatigued. The fight completely drained him of all energy. 1915. Plus 15,000. Plus 10. Plus 10. 18. Plus 5,000. Plus. Level up. Level up. Level up. Worth it. Smiled Rudra. Chapter 18, Emissary of Church, Conclusion. Darkness Blast was the same skill that was used by the Alpha on Rudra as he walked through the doors. It was extremely useful for the wizard classes as it dealt quite a bit of damage. Rudra wanted to learn the skill, and there wasn't a said restriction that prevented him from doing so. However, he could not use the skill until he unlocked mana stat. The Knight class did not have an inbuilt mana stat system unlike Warlock and Wizard, hence it was best to sell the skill as it would fetch a great amount. Especially right now when skills were the most important part of the adventurer's strength and a complete deficiency of good skills in the market. Rudra waited in the cave for 2 hours, resting until his stamina was back to full. He was not an idiot to start a fight in anything but his peak condition. The person in his previous life failed to get past the alpha stage, so the next room remained unknown to him. So Rudra was essentially going in blind, having no clue what to expect. He did, however, have 3 darkness dispel spells saved and his semi-legendary Lich's Ring with him, giving him confidence. Rudra did not realize this yet. He felt everything he did was because of his reincarnation knowledge. But that wasn't the case actually. His skills, honed over 20 years of playing the game, had given him great reflexes and a subconscious anticipation of how to fight. A warrior been through countless dungeon runs and facing players, monsters, and even NPCs had an edge to his moves only experience could give. His reincarnation knowledge plus his skills plus his drive to be the best, and hence his step-by-step plan to rise to the top, was all playing a part in making him stronger. As he stepped through the gate, what greeted him sent chills down his spine. There were young girls of 5 races tied to a log forming a pentagon. The pentagon was drawn in blood. It seemed like a demonic ritual. In the center of the pentagon sat a man. Or was he a dark werewolf? It was hard to determine. If one were to accurately say he was a half-man half-beast, he was adding herbs and chanting incantations as the ritual was progressing. An elf, an orc, a human, a demonkin, a mermaid. The members of the 5 great tribes were gagged and bound. Their eyes widened as they saw Rudra bust through the door. Some cried, some desperately shouted through their gagged cloth to make muffled noises. Well, it was a natural reaction, so none could blame them, but that alerted the men in the center. Who Rudra assumed was the merchant. But why would a cult worshipper poison a village of innocent people? Nothing added up. The environment, the motive, it all seemed absurd. But there was no time to ponder. The merchant looked at him with bloodshot eyes and picked up a beheading blade that was beside him and charged at Rudra. Rudra parried the first strike with his silver sword, but his hands felt numb from the impact. Just how strong was that guy? Blood merchant, mutant creature, LV-28, boss rank. Think twice before engaging him, equipped with a high-quality slaughterer blade. Whoa, that guy was no joke. Rudra had absolutely no chance of fighting him one-on-one. With each subsequent clash his hands felt heavier and his movements slowed down until after the 7th clash that his sword snapped in 2. Shit. Imtos, thought Rudra as the attack landed on him square and he was sent flying. Minus 800 critical hit. With one hit his enemy took April 5th th of his total HP. Darkness Bind. Summon Knight Durahal. He quickly bound him as well as summoned Durahal. Durahal was LV30. He was a match for this guy, and thankfully his sword did damage the enemy this time. Minus 1,500. Minus 1,000. Minus 1,200. A string of damage appeared on the merchant. Yes, thought Rudra. He brought out the Windcutter sword. Bastard broke his silver sword. It costed 17 gold coins. Wind Slash. Wind Slash. Wind Slash. Minus 200. Minus 200. Minus 200. His Wind Slash did a puny damage of 200, yet he was satisfied as he was doing something at least. He drank a health potion and restored 400 HP. Durahal was engaging in a fierce combat and was having a very slight advantage, however the situation changed fast. The merchant executed the berserk skill and his attack power experienced a mad increase. Durahal was started being pushed back. No, Durahal is my only chance at clearing this quest. He can't receive so much damage. With that he decided to enter the fray. He with his Windcutter sword engaged in close combat against the merchant. Berserk skill lasted for 2 minutes, hence he needed to make sure that Durahal was safe for that time. After the 2 minutes ended, the enemy would be in a weakened state and Durahal would steamroll him. The problem was Rudra was no match for the merchant. He was not even strong enough to parry his attacks. With each clash he took damage from brunt force alone. Minus 50. Minus 50. Minus 50. TF his sword arm was useless now. Good news, Darkness Bind's cooldown was over. Darkness Bind. He switched to his left hand and dealt as much damage as he could before quickly disengaging. Minus 1800. Minus 1200. Minus 2500 critical hit. He was at his limit. This was all the time he could buy Durahal, the rest was on him. He distanced himself and started wind slashing again. Minus 200. Minus 200. Minus 200. Finally, after what seemed hours, Durahal was at 30% HP when the berserk of the merchant ended and he was heavily debuffed. Booyah. Finish him, Durahal. Durahal steamrolled him there forward, making quick work of the merchant. When the merchant had less than 5% HP left, he frantically ran towards the bound girls trying to harm them. No, you'll not do that. Darkness Bind. Rudra stopped the merchant and stabbed his heart using Windcutter. The merchant looked at him with his bloodshot eyes and before dying said, "He will come back." Chapter 19, Rewards. 3/3. Plus 50,000. Plus. Plus 50. Plus. Plus 50,000. Plus. 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 Level up. 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 /////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////////// // Plus. POV change, people talking on the forums. TF, isn't he the same guy who cleared the hidden dungeon? God, at Shikuni, the guy is a legend. Hacker, I swear at Shikuni is a hacker. I heard at Shikuni is from a hidden martial arts family, he spent his childhood honing his sword skills. The one who likes at Shikuni is a bastard. Please marry me at Shikuni, I am 5 feet 10 inches and have nice legs, winky face. How do you even know he is a guy? A total of 170k people tagged at Shikuni in less than an hour on the forums. Then came a interesting post shared by a lot of people. I think Shikuni is a beta tester, that's the only way any of this will make sense. I mean, he released an information pack and is always a step ahead of everyone else, but I thought Omega did not allow beta testers to continue playing the game. In conclusion, ban Shikuni. The post ban Shikuni had a lot of supporters. It took about 50k reposts before Omega officials released a statement. Player at Shikuni has not participated in the beta or exploiting a hack. He is playing under the supervision of the artificial intelligence Gaia, following all relevant regulations. Such groundless slandering will lead to your account being banned in Omega. There are no bugs in the artificial intelligence Gaia. Silence reigned over the forums after that. The haters suddenly went quiet as a lot of accounts were indeed suspended. It's just that with majority player base not even at level 12 him and him alone shocking the world again and again, Noon wanted to admit being inferior to him but the achievements spoke for themselves. The haters were just pure jealous. POV, big shots, big guilds, and hidden powers. Who is this guy? I haven't heard of a Shikuni in the gaming scene. I want his background. And I want it yesterday, got it. Big shot businessman. The guy is an interesting, try and reach out, offer him a contract he can't refuse, first-rate guild leader. Total of 200 mid-scale guilds and 20 first-rate guilds, even a super guild, all were interested in recruiting Rudra. I want him, a hidden power. Keep an eye on him, he is an unknown variable, a hidden power. This guy's rise is too meteoric to be concluded as skill, there is something more to his story. Find it. Mr. Advani. POV, Rudra. Whyyyy. Whyyyy me. Whyyyy does this keep happening? Aren't I just an innocent gamer? Why does this stupid system keep announcing my name? Rudra was on the verge of tears, it had been an extremely straining fight and he was exhausted mentally. The joy of the amazing rewards were really short-lived when compared to the problem at hand. Rudra was not an idiot, he knew that the first time his name was announced, not many people would bother, but this time it was different. He needed to secure himself and his family in the real world as soon as possible. Plans needed to be made, there was absolutely no time to rest. Sigh, the higher Rudra climbed the harder he needed to work. Well, let's at least see what we got here. Title, Emissary of the Church, gives you a position equal to Bishop in the Church of Light. The Holy Guards will come to your aid if called upon, complete diplomatic immunity in all human and elf countries. Booyah. This reward was sweet. 50 platinum coins. 50 freaking coins. It meant 50,000 gold coins, rich, he was rich again. At the exchange rate of $5,000 per gold in his past life, he currently had $250 million. He needed half of that to run his guild, but the other half would be used for much needed SEC utility he needed in real life. The thing is, auction house hadn't opened yet, the conversion of money was unavailable. It would open 4 days later, so it was only a matter of time. Skill, Berserk, plus 200% attack power for 3 minutes. Removes all fatigue and stamina, remains at full for duration of 3 minutes. Heavy debuff on stamina and attack power after 3 minutes. It was a double-edged sword, but Rudra knew its value, hence he still chose to learn it. Slaughterer, two-handed sword, epic, intricately carved, it is a weapon for the mighty. Plus 50% damage to all attacks. Plus 50% chance of breaking armor. Critical hit deals double damage. Plus skill mountain crash upon equipping. An epic rated item. It was a great sword. Just not for Rudra. Rudra was more of the agility type than the power one. Well, he would not sell it, if he could get that player in his guild this sword would be perfect for him. Else he would use this as a trade item between powerful guilds. An epic item was just that rare. Its value was immense. Demon's Diary, page 3/7. No information whatsoever, even in his previous life he never heard of a Demon's Diary. He would find out more about it later. Memoir of the Blood Merchant, quest item, give it to the Church of Light to know more. And lastly, title, world-renowned, all kingdoms of all races would be friendly and respectful of you. Not bad. Not bad at all. All in all, today was a windfall. Rudra was so engrossed in his rewards that only when he heard a muffle did he realize there were still 5 girls bound to a pole.